My time at DU as a student athlete was an unbelievable experience. You know, this school is such a great place. You know, for me, coming from Canada and coming down to the States, you know, I was a little bit nervous when I first arrived on campus for those first couple of weeks, but you know, I started to settle in, and the people here are just phenomenal, and I couldn't have picked a better place to go to school. You know, I think that one of probably the biggest driving force that brought me to coaching was, you know, having a dad that coached me growing up. You know, he's my soccer coach for 12 years growing up, and you know, he was great. And you know, I found out later on in life how great of a coach he was when my teammates would come back to me and express their feelings about him. And so, you know, that always sat in the back of my mind, that I wanted to eventually one day get into some form of coaching. I didn't know that it was going to be Division I. I didn't know if it would be going back to Canada and coaching a junior A team. But when the opportunity came up to come back and be a part of DU, I couldn't say no. When the announcement was made that Bill Tierney was going to be the next head coach of the University of Denver men's lacrosse team, that was a surprise to many. It was a huge surprise to me. I had no idea that was even in the works, and that was even an option for Coach T to come out here. So there's a lot of unknown. You know, he got here. For me, I didn't even know if he wanted to keep me on, and luckily he did. And you know, the first few months were great. You know, right from day one, you could tell that he was that complete commander-in-chief that I tell everybody he is, and he had so much structure. He had a game plan. He had an outline, and you know, for me as an alum, I was very proud because it's what we needed to take the next step. You know, we accomplished a lot in a short period of time, and only being, you know, 9-10 years into a Division I program, and he was there, and you could see right after the first few months that he was ready to take that next step. Yeah, I think it was a very special season. Obviously, the first season as our staff together, but you know, more importantly for our program. You know, a lot of people don't know. You know, we had only a dozen guys, you know, hanging around, and we brought a couple key guys in at the last second, and everybody thought this was going to be a big-time rebuilding year, and so did we. You know, especially early on in the season, and we have a tough trip going to Syracuse, and we lose in the Dome, and then we have to fly down to play Jacksonville down in Florida the very next day, and we end up losing that one in triple overtime, and here we are looking at each other like, what is going on? But credit to our guys, you know, credit to our guys that they stuck with us. They kept working hard every single day, and they bounced back. And you know, at the end of the year, we couldn't have played a more complete game as we did when we played Loyola down in Vesco Field. It was just a phenomenal ending to the regular season, winning the ECAC championship, and it was a sign of great things to come. There's no question this was an incredible year. You know, there's a laundry list of things that were first for our program this year. The things that I feel was the difference for this season was we wanted to make our guys believers. You know, we knew we had skill. You know, we knew we had good strategies in place. We knew we had good game plans. We knew we had the right personnel out there, but you needed something extra to get you to a Final Four, and it's believing that you can accomplish it. And I feel like the turning point for us was when we were at Hobart this past season. We were up there. It was a windy game. You know, it wasn't ideal conditions. We go down in the game early, and all of a sudden there was no panic. We just knew that we were going to chip away one by one and come back and end up winning that game, and that's what we did. And I think from that moment on, you know, guys started to look at each other like, you know, we can do this thing, and we can really make this happen. And you know, so that's what we really worked on this past off season was making our guys believers from day one. You know, and we knew that when in the fall, when our guys would break from lifting or break from practice on their own, you know, their cheer was Final Four, and that was in the back of their mind, and that was a great thing. being a part of the whole event of the Final Four is very special. I describe it to people that I talk to. It's like being in Hollywood. From the moment you step off the plane, you've got a camera or a microphone in your face. And we talked about all season long about, we have 3 seasons here. We have our regular season, we have our ECAC championship season, and then we've got the NCAA tournament season. Now I'm kind of thinking we have 4 seasons. We've got regular season, ECAC championship, the first 2 games of the NCAA tournament, and then the Final Four. It's completely different. It's nothing that you can prepare for. You've got 45,000 fans that are just screaming and yelling. You got the spider cam that's up above you following the play of the ball, and it's just exciting. You got the banquet, you have the pep rally down at the Inner Harbor. There's just everybody that's anybody in lacrosse is there on that weekend, and it just makes for a great event and a memorable experience. Yeah, I think that's the question a lot of people have been asking. Is how do you improve? What's the next step? And the next step, without question, is to get back again and be a constant. Every year in and year out, try to get there. Our goal here is we don't want to be a flash in the pan. There's been 7 programs in the last 20 years that have made it to the NCAA tournament once and not come back. And that's not what we want to be. We want to be a program that gets there year in and year out. Everybody talks about Coach Tierney with his 6 national championships, but they don't say that he had to get there 11 times to win those 6. Virginia, they won with that senior class. Those seniors were there 4 straight years in a row. So it takes time. This is not an easy task. And so, yeah, we made huge steps this year as far as getting there, but the next step is to get there again and hopefully win it.